Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I am your average guy, John Corelli, episode 81. Ooh, this is the Night Vibes edition. Ooh, very Halloweeny, very sexy. It's honestly, I'm doing this because I don't know what the fuck to talk about. There's a lot of things. We're going to maybe have a melange, a sort of smorgasbord, a buffet, if you will, of opinions. I want your guys' opinions as well, I guess. I do want to hear from you guys on stuff you want me to talk about. I know Janky Jank Productions has often given me stuff, and I've kind of not followed up with that, so I can work on that. And I know my glasses give off a hell of a glare. I've only got 2 candles here. It looks like there's like 50. Like I'm doing Santeria or something. But no, it's just the 2 candles. I just felt in a weird mood. It's sundown here in Denver. Today's the first day of spring, and of course, it is snowing again. So that's beautiful and great. I love it. It's starting to cover the streets. We just got a day off from school tomorrow. I mean, it was remote anyway, but they were going to make us go in now. Like we can do truly remote, which is how it should be when it's remote. No, I might also have to help my father. My stepmother's putting stuff into one of those so-called pods. We were supposed to do it Saturday, but Pod People, which is a great movie, by the way. If you ever get to watch Pod People, it's the terrible best movie you'll ever seen. It's so bad. Watch it on Riff Tracks or MST3K. If you don't know what those things are, ask in the comments and I'll let you know. Pod People did not get the pod here on time yesterday when it was 60 degrees out and beautiful here in Denver. And so I just sat up there, cut my dad's hair, listened to him bitch about the world, and my stepmom just waited patiently. The thing didn't show up till after 5 o'clock, which didn't give us enough time to move all the stuff anyway. That's not exciting at all, but I just wanted to let you know what's going on in my life. I got my second vaccination today. That's also going on in my life. My arm hurts like hell, but I'm vaccinated, so that's good. I want to talk about my comedy Mount Rushmore. I'm not sure if I've brought that up before. I also want to talk to you guys about, and this is me obviously doing shameless self-promotion once again. My podcast is called Another Comic, Another Podcast, and I am very proud of how clever that is. That is my domain name. I have it on Twitter, and I also share it to Facebook. And I just interview comics. I started last year, and then of course COVID kind of destroyed things. And so I'm doing it every week now. I'm just going to get a comic from my shows that I do every Friday at the Mercury Cafe, and we just talk. And I'm in the midst of interviewing some great women, female comics. I don't know what to call people that are not sharing their identity anymore, but these two identify as women. I did Katie Bowman last week. She was great, and this week was Shanae Ross, who's really great too. And then this coming Friday, I will do. That really sounds bad when I say do, but when I say do, I mean interview. But the next interview will be Elena McMillan, and looking forward to doing all of those. They all last around 40 minutes. If I stretch it out or people get there early, I can do an hour, but I won't do a podcast over an hour generally, maybe a few minutes over an hour, but I want to keep you guys engaged. Any questions you guys want me to ask, and that's why I thought of it, because I always ask just as a prompt, which has spring-loaded into conversation, because we know, if anything, comics can talk a lot. So generally that's all we need is a little springboard, is just to say, who would you put on your comedy Mount Rushmore? I will share with you, if I haven't before, in a video, and that's another thing. If I start repeating myself on these videos, because it is easy to. I mean, I'm finding that I think I'm a pretty interesting person, but I'm finding like my 81st episode, I don't have much more to tell about me. I mean, it's my opinions, but I do have to start getting into more topical stuff, so I will do that. But my Mount Rushmore, Lenny Bruce, to me, the founding father of comedy, took comedy to a new level. Actually got arrested for things he said on stage. Lost a Supreme Court battle, won the next Supreme Court battle, and then lost the ensuing one. He was 1 for 3 as far as Supreme Court battles and dealing with art and free speech. So he's my hero, one of my heroes. Second is George Carlin, very much a Lenny Bruce prototype. If you look at the early stuff that George Carlin was doing in the early 60s when Lenny Bruce was about to die, Lenny Bruce died in 1965, I believe. George Carlin did goofy ass shit, and then the 70s, I think, as Lenny Bruce was a big influence on him, he started just telling truths that many of us didn't want to hear. So he's my second one. Third is Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was also another next level guy. Not so much as the daring things he was saying, but he was just plain funny, and one of the first black men to probably just kind of franchise it and turn it into an entity. He was a business and comedy icon. I mean, The Cosby Show and Fat Albert, and he was even on Electric Company when it first came out, and of course, all the albums and all the specials. Now, obviously, knowing now what we know about Bill Cosby, we may have to chisel him off. Hopefully, I could easily, if I were the person chiseling Bill Cosby's face off, I would just do some cosmetic surgery and hopefully he could look like Eddie Murphy. That would be my replacement if I had to replace Bill Cosby. And then there's Richard Pryor is my fourth. Not in any order. All four guys are just amazing. They're all Mount Rushmore guys. And Richard Pryor was kind of like a contemporary of Carlin's, and they were saying outlandish things that you shouldn't have been saying in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s until they both died. And of course, Richard Pryor was the anti-Cosby, and a huge influencer on Eddie Murphy. So that's my Mount Rushmore. I like to ask, so that's what I asked my guests, just to start the ball rolling on a conversation. Shanae Ross's were great. Her mother and her grandmother were her first two people on her comedy Mount Rushmore, and I think that's amazing. That's so great, because they really do. Your parents do influence you in this. And then she had, she had Robin Williams and Whoopi Goldberg. That's a great four, and I love it. So that's what we kind of talk about. We go all over the map. I find the conversations interesting, and hopefully you will too if you decide to listen. But I didn't want to just hawk my podcast. I also want to talk about some other stuff that's kind of in the news. I don't know if you've ever heard of a guy named Steven Crowder. He does a podcast called Louder with Crowder. And I have to admit, I haven't listened to it all the way through. So it might not be as bad as I've seen it portrayed. But he has said some really, in my opinion, terrible things. Like I said, I've only seen clips. And that's taken out of context, admittedly. But man, like he has like these other four white guys, as you can imagine. It's all white guys. They all act like centrists, but they're really pretty much right-wing MAGA types. Just talking about ridiculous stuff. Like apparently there's going to be some reparations or some sort of financial or legislative favoritism towards black farmers because A, they don't get treated that well. B, there aren't that many of them, really, to be honest, that I know about. And so they just started talking shit about this, like, oh, that was like 100 years ago. No, it's not. Discrimination exists today. I feel like banging my head on a wall for how many times I got to repeat this for people. It's still there. It's still blatant. And the fact that you just proved it by like doing like brother voices and saying that, yo, man, I just can't get this Hennessy to grow. I keep pouring it in the ground. That was literally said on his podcast by one of his fellow podcasters, one of his assistants. They had like 5 guys on the mic because apparently one guy can't do it. I could. Shit. How about quieter with Corelli? I don't know. Something smelly with Corelli. There we go. There's a good one. Yeah, so, but these are night vibes, guys. I got 2 more minutes, 100 seconds to chill you out and make you feel good, baby. I feel like Venus Flytrap in WKRP in Cincinnati. People only over 40 will get that reference most likely. But I do. I just felt like mellowing it out. It's the last day of winter, first day of spring. Looking forward to the energy that spring brings, the new growth. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys for a minute about different things. Another thing, a few episodes ago, about 5, 10, maybe more than that, several episodes ago, I talked about my ex-wife's grandmother, Millie Forster. I thought her birthday was like a week or 2 ago. That 100th birthday, that lady I was talking about, she turned 100 today, and we had a big old Zoom meeting with her friends and relatives, and it was great. And she still does great. She got on a motorcycle. She got on, of course, she didn't drive a motorcycle, but she took a motorcycle ride for her 100th birthday. The whole town, her little village of Melsonby in northern England is pretty small. It's like 200 or 300 people. And they all came out and they did stuff for her, and she ate and drank and danced even at 100 and had an amazing day. And she told us all about it. And you got to remember, she's like 7 hours ahead of us, and we didn't even get the Zoom meeting started till close to 2 o'clock here. So it was 9 o'clock at night. She had all the energy of any of us. She was amazing, and she continues to be amazing. And it's not one of those 100 birthdays where she needed help blowing out the candles. Well, anyone needs help blowing out 100 candles, but just amazing. I just wanted to give you updates. Like I said, not a lot of opinions today, but I wanted to give you some information about me, about how I feel, about what's going on. So I'll get back to you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in to episode 81. I've been your average guy, John Corelli. We'll see you next time. Thank you. And let me know if you like the night vibes or want me to do something weird, like maybe I've got one of those disco lights I could put in the background. I don't know. Might be great. Might give you a seizure. Who knows? Talk to you next time. Bye.